From Nashua South High School, welcome into the 4th annual Chic-fil-A Classic. I'm Matt Neverett, joined today by Jason Roby for the girls semifinal number 1. Nashua South taking on Alvirne, and Nashua South wins the opening tip-off. Nashua South sending out their starting 5, consisting of Catherine Covert, Maya Ryu, Ariana Murray, Juliana Martin, and Kirsten McIntyre. They're moving from left to right on the screen, wearing their white-on-white home uniforms. Alvirne in the maroon and gold. Their starting 5, comprised of number 3, Grace Hodgson, Paige McKinley, Sarah Rugrock, Liana Ochieng, and Adara Ochieng, the sister pair, at the forward positions. And Nashua South gets on the board first. And Jason, both of these teams coming off wins here in the semifinal. Alvirne taking down Souhegan 41-21 in the early game yesterday, and South coming off of a 48-15 win. So both of these squads really hanging their hat on the defense here in this tournament.
Yeah, no doubt, Matt, as you see a missed shot there from the outside by Alvirne. South with a 2-0 lead as they bring the ball up the floor. Really, both coaches trying to figure out their teams at this point as they head into the meat of their schedule, and hopefully here South can come away with a win. But a tough Alvirne team, as you mentioned, playing great defense in their win over Souhegan, limiting Souhegan to just 21 points.
Maya Ryu fires up a corner 3 that's no good. Alvirne bringing it down from right to left. The pass high, but handled by Eliana Ochieng. And Sarah Rugrock, the 6-foot senior forward, taking it on the elbow, and a foul called early. That'll go on number 15, Juliana Martin. So the first fraction of the game goes against Nashua here with 6:45 left to go in the first quarter. And Jason, you brought up that score, 41-21, Alvirne over Souhegan. How about South limiting Campbell to just 15 points?
Yeah, that's pretty impressive as well. And again, you're looking at the difference between the divisions here and the classes in terms of size of the school, and certainly that can make a difference as South backs into their zone and has great position on that rebound, and as a result they will get possession. Good job of boxing out there by the Purple Panthers as Alvirne will extend some full court pressure here.
Yeah, going with that full court trap. Inbound goes to number 12, Maya Ryu, looking for that outlet pass and harrowing, but grabbed by Ariana Murray. Now working it down low is Kirsten McIntyre. A baseline shot rejected. This one dribbling away and tipped out of bounds. They're going to keep it down the right side with the Purple Panthers. Catherine Covert tried to throw that one back in bounds. She's pretty hopeful, pretty glad that
yeah, Covert, Johnny on the spot there trying to make something happen, but as a result of that hustle, they get possession back.
Now a chance for this inbound play, and it goes inside. That's Kirsten McIntyre, misses the shot, grabs the rebound. She goes up and she is fouled. And Jason, one of these things with the early season tournament is just how crisp and clean a lot of those technical inbound plays can be. South had a good look, missed the shot, and McIntyre fighting hard for that rebound.
Oh, McIntyre thus far, she has the first bucket for South here, Matt, when we were doing the introductions, and she just signed a national letter of intent to play, I believe, lacrosse at the college level. Her mom is one of the assistant coaches on the Nashua South bench over there, Kiki McIntyre, a physical education teacher here in Nashua. She hits the second of 2, and South extending full court pressure as well.
Yeah, both of these defensive-minded teams going with the full court press, and it pays off. A 3-point shot from Ryu, passed up. She tried to drive it inside. Now has to pass it back out, and the Purple Panthers with all 5 players around the outside, no inside presence. Pick and roll there, nice layup. Number 14, Ariana Murray, the junior guard, throwing that one up, and South with an early 5-0 lead.
Mariana Murray off the dribble. Nice dribble drive penetration using the right hand.
Open 3 from Grace Hodgson. That one's off the right of the iron, and a rebound pulled down by Martin. The Panthers dominating the boards here early on. Pass goes into the corner, now looking downstairs. A layup contested and fired way long by Catherine Covert. A turnover for Alvirne, still looking for their first points with just under 5:30 to go in the first quarter. Try to drive it inside, working it back out. Panthers doing a great job of not allowing too many open threes, forcing the Broncos to go downstairs, and the pass intended for number 10, Sarah Rugrock, the 6-foot junior, and she is fouled.
They were aggressive there down on the baseline. They had to double down on the post and got a little too aggressive as we get our first substitutions of the game here. In for Nashua South, number 13, Aruka Obanello. And it looked like Jordan Rue.
Rue pressuring Hodgson on the outside. And now back up top to Rugrock. Tallest player on the team. She does a lot of the ball handling. Her and Hodgson pretty much splitting the carries 50-50, if you will. Long 3 fired up. McKinley no good short. Rebound heading back left to right with the Purple Panthers. Pressured hard is Maya Ryu. Her sister Jordan checked in earlier. And going up for the easy lay in McIntyre. It's been all McIntyre and the Panthers early, a 7-0 lead, 4:48 to go, and an Alvirne timeout called as head coach Stephen Beals looking to try and turn things around. So a couple of great defensive showings early on for these two teams in the tournament. And a great showing early on here in this contest by the Purple Panthers.
Yeah, and McIntyre, the recipient of a great pass, looked like she got to pick the ball away and up easy for a nice uncontested layup. Was surprised to see no Alvirne Bronco in the vicinity and laid it up. She has a nice start here, and I'm sure Alvirne and the coaching staff, Stephen Beals, trying to figure out how do we stop that backdoor cut? How do we get maybe a presence on McIntyre?
So coming out of the timeout, the Purple Panthers lead 7-0. This game, the first of 4 this afternoon, all 4 taking place here in Nashua South. Merrimack and Nashua North will follow this one up at 3:30. And Merrimack defeated Keene 44-27 yesterday, and North a big-time 57-34 win over Milford. So here's Hodgson dishing it out to Rugrock. Rugrock looking for a pass. The Panthers, as you mentioned, Jason, working the zone very well.
Yeah, that 2-3 zone, they're extending it out past the three-point line, and then they bring it down. When they get the ball inside, they double down low. So real good movement there by the Panthers.
Trap on the corner, swinging around as Rugrock. Obanello rejects it. A fight for the ball down towards the baseline. It'll go to Nashua South.
Obanello with a great job down there, blocking the shot, then getting the ball on the rebound. Goes off of an Alvirne Bronco. Panther ball.
Another full court trap for Alvirne. South has done a good job of breaking that trap thus far, as they do here rather easily. Those outlet passes are easy to find, and a kick ball stops the clock at 4:07. Still 7-0 lead for Nashua, as Alvirne will sub in their first player off the bench. It's Maddie Nicolosi, the 5'7" sophomore guard.
Easy to see here, Matt, on the full court pressure. If you don't have the numbers, you want to kick it back out. In that particular time, it was 3-on-3, and maybe would have been better served to set your offense up.
Ryu trying to work around the McIntyre screen, picks up her dribble and finds Obanello with the left elbow. Hands it off to Ariana Murray, looking to drive. She picks up the dribble, bounce pass downstairs. Obanello rejected on the other end. So Obanello with a rejection on defense has her layup knocked away on the offensive side, and Hodgson finding a player downstairs. That's number 11, Ileana Ochieng. Her layup no good, and the Panthers have dominated the boards here early.
Ochieng looked like she had an open lane, and suddenly 2 Panthers just collapsed down on her.
Ryu works around a screen, picks up the dribble at the foul line, swinging it around. And the shot from Murray, it is good for 2 just inside the three-point line, but nonetheless, the Purple Panthers extend their lead to 9.
Yeah, they get hurt on the inside, so they bring the defense down low, and they get hurt from the outside by Murray.
3-point shot, no good, but the foul called on Obanello. We'll see 3 free throws from Sarah Rugrock. Again, these 2 games here, Alvirne and South, 3:09 to go in the first quarter. Nashua South leading 9-0, Merrimack and North at 3:30. And on the boys' side, Thornton taking on Nashua North, the #1 ranked team in the state at 5 o'clock. And our nightcap, Alvirne at Goffstown, here at Nashua South at 6:30 this evening. So they're going to call that foul on the floor, so an inbound pass goes to Hodgson. Trying to break the zone, drives through the lane, but fouled on the floor once again. So the Purple Panthers not afraid to be physical. They have not faced much downstairs at all.
What they did there, Matt, they went back to a man-to-man defense, and Alvirne would have been better served to make a nice bounce pass to the block for an easy 2, but she drove the lane and got collapsed on.
Ochieng checks out. Kaliana Secharoli, junior forward, checks in. Inbound pass goes to the top of the key. They'll find her right away. Now Rugrock, the forward at the top of the key with the ball all alone. Hodgson on the left elbow. She'll set the screen and work around back up top. 2:50 to go, and a travel call, so the Panthers will take over once again, leading by 9.
It was a good switch there by the Nashua South defense as on that pick. The girls' good communication switched off, and as a result, they get the ball back on a traveling violation.
And early in the season, it's impressive to see a team going with both zone and man defense flawlessly back and forth. That was Jordan Ryu trying to drive. Her shot a bit short. Hodgson in some trouble in the corner. She spins around and finds some open space. Great job to get out of danger. She goes down at midcourt. Pass downstairs. Shot from the baseline is in. That's Eliana Ochieng, 5'9" senior captain for Alvirne. And they're on the board. 9-2 the score with 2:20 to go in the first.
And Hodgson made that play with a great impression of Curly Neal down on the baseline. Got up and got taken out at half court. No call, but gets the assist on a nice pass down low.
Pass back up top. Looking for a shot there was Catherine Covert. Instead, she passes it up. Nice. It was a good call. They find her downstairs for an easy layup.
Backdoor cut by Covert there, Matt. Really nicely done by the Purple Panthers. A 3-on-1 situation here. They can't convert.
Wow, those are the ones where patience is a virtue, and Alvirne turns it over. And Ryu into the corner. Now down to the baseline. It's Covert again. She's fouled on the shot attempt by Hodgson. So she'll go to the line for two. Third and fourth free throws for Nashua South. They lead by 9.
Big size difference there too, Matt. You had 5'8" against 5'5", and as a result, Covert goes for a pair.
Covert, one of 3 seniors on this Nashua South squad. It's the first one, nothing but net. First-year head coach John Bourgeois, former Purple Panther himself, an alumni. Had been coaching on the boys' side for a while. This is both his first head coaching job and first time working with the girls, and it's worked out at least today. This is a dead pair made by Covert, 13-2 the score.
Yeah, Nate Mazerow had a lot of good things to say about Coach Bourgeois and how hard he worked to get to this point.
Trying to go coast to coast. Instead, she'll find Sacciaroli. 3-point attempt, no good. Sacciaroli grabs her own rebound, and the foul called out by the 3-point strike.
Yeah, Covert's going to get called for that one. That was great hustle on the offensive boards by the Broncos, and as a result, South getting whistled for yet another foul here.
So some physical play early on, and they're going to turn that one around and call the foul on Alvirne and give the ball to the Purple Panthers as Maya Ryu checked back in. So both Ryu back on the court at the same time as Hodgson checks out for Alvirne. See if that affects their offense, as limited as it has been so far. 13-2 Nashua on top. Pass downstairs, looking for Catherine Covert. Finds Obanello. Obanello goes up, and she is fouled. The Panthers have done a great job penetrating.
Yeah.
Basically, they've just been passing and cutting straight at the net with good success thus far.
Good patience, Matt, on the offensive end, waiting for those picks and some nice deliveries, some easy buckets, and some easy foul shots.
Iruka Obanello with the first one. Right through. 14-2 now the lead. It's been all Panthers since the start. Checking out is Eliana Ochieng, one of the starters for Alvirne. 1:17 left here in the first quarter of action. Obanello with the stagger feet.
She called glass?
One in. Yeah.
I think she called that.
Banks open on a Friday. 15-2 Panther lead, and Alvirne able to split that press, and a touch pass. No good. Obanello stepping in the lane.
And Matt, they have the numbers on that fast break. They're just not getting the pass delivered.
Working it around the top, trying to set something up as Covert tries to go around a screen, has it knocked away. Have to find a pass. Now Juliana Martin with it over to Jordan Ryu in the corner. She takes the shot from just left of the free throw line. No good off the back of the iron. Rebound goes Alvirne's way, but Obanello with some stifling pressure. And now Nashua South backs off with 40 seconds to go in the first. Rock at the top of the key, finds an open Bronco in the corner. Her shot goes off.
I hit the top of the backboard, man.
Should be a dead ball.
That should be a dead ball, but
Martin's pass, no good. Touched up by, that's Catherine Covert, and all knocked out of bounds with 29.7 seconds to go, and Covert will check out. Back is McIntyre after a well-deserved break.
Full court press again, extended by the Panthers, and they have the numbers again.
Obanello, the lone defender in the lane. Sacciaroli goes up and banks it in over top of the forward.
They could have done that about 4 or 5 times so far this first quarter, Matt.
15 seconds to go. Looking for a drive is Maya Ryu. It's around the Obanello screen, back to the top of the key, and McIntyre. McIntyre not much of a shooter, so she'll look to the left and find Martin. 5 seconds to go. All alone downstairs as McIntyre drops it in, and that'll wrap up the first quarter of action with the Nashua South Purple Panthers enjoying a 17-4 lead. We talked about the defense coming in, but Nashua South extremely efficient on the offensive side.
No doubt, and McIntyre making the living on the block down low, and nobody there for Alvirne. Those layups are not contested, and as a result, she's getting some easy buckets. And then on the other end, you look at South's defense. They limited Alvirne to just 4 points here in the first quarter, extending what, that from that first game that you mentioned yesterday. 4 points is a pretty impressive thing to see from the defensive effort.
As far as South's defense, Jason, they've gone back and forth with the zone and man coverage. Which do you think has been more impressive?
Well, right now, I like the way they play aggressively in the zone, but when they switch it up and go man, they have the speed and athleticism to stay with Alvirne. So I guess it's pick your poison. 6 of one, half a dozen of another. You've got the ability to do both against this team.
And you mentioned it during that first period of play that Alvirne has had the numbers going down the court, but the passes have been ill-advised. If they just slow the offense down ever so slightly, they could score more than 4 points in the quarter.
You know, and when you have when you're getting full court press and you have a 2-on-1, that should result in an easy layup every single time, and they're unable to capitalize. They did on the last one, so we'll see if they can make it happen for them in the second quarter here.
South won the opening tip. It'll be Alvirne's ball here to start the second quarter. It's turned over almost immediately. More of the same as Ariana Murray just sticks the hand between the dribble and they'll take it down the other way herself. Maya Ryu passed up the open three-pointer. She'll toss it across the court to her sister Jordan, who works around the outside, and a carry called to back-to-back turnovers to get things started in the second.
That was a great skip pass there. She was wide open on the backside, but pulled it up and as a result turned the ball over.
So Alvirne working it down the other way. It's Paige McKinley bringing it up the floor. Drop downstairs. No good. The rebound, the shot attempt no good again, and the foul called was on an aggressive rebound chance for Kaliana Secharoli.
Yeah, it looked right there, Matt, like she went over the back. Good positioning by the Panthers on that defensive rebound. 17-4 here in early going second quarter from Nashua South High School. So far, I'm pretty impressed with what I'm seeing from these Purple Panthers.
Abby DuBois checked in for the first time. This Alvirne team, a senior-laden squad with 5 seniors matriculating on to the next level next season. Nashua South with just 3, but it's been the young team that's had the advantage to get things going. Obanello making a pass to the corner. Looking for a drive is Murray. She stopped, finds Obanello. She'll go up.
Well done.
Banks it in and rolls it in. 19.
I'll tell you what happened right there, Matt. She had a great pick on the ball and rolled to the inside, sealing off the defender as another ball is stolen there.
Jordan Ryu gets in the way. Her shot, a little too much mustard on that. A foul called on Kirsten McIntyre. This one's going to go the other way. 6:47 to go in the first half.
Kirsten McIntyre.
Just a bit too aggressive on that rebound as Obanello checks out, and for the first time, Ella Karavanik checks in, the 5'11 freshman, and we'll get a 30-second timeout called by Alvirne. So a sloppy start for both sides, and Nashua South defensively, much more of the same.
Yeah, no doubt, and I think that as they settle in here, South's offense is predicated on finding that roll to the basket off of the pick. Almost like a pick and roll, but at really just sealing off your defender and getting nice entry passes.
They've done a good job of it so far, especially Obanello and McIntyre. They have been the dastardly duo downstairs for Nashua South, and the picks are really not even the main part of that. They just kind of fake the pick and take off towards the basket, and they've been wide open.
Right, and I think the big part is that these young ladies have they understand what the premise of the offense is and what they're trying to look for, and as a result, they're taking advantage of maybe a little bit of size underneath.
They're going back to the well as well. Not afraid to.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't try to fix it, right?
Keep going back to that same thing as Alvirne has it the other way. It's McKinley looking for a pass down low, and that one's turned over. On the break is Maya Ryu. It's a 2-on-1 chance.
Well done by Ryu.
Fires it off a defender. She had eyes in the back of her head.
Nice aggressive play. Pass was a little bit past her, so save it underneath that hoop and hope it goes off a Bronco. It does. South will retain possession, and that coming off of a great defensive effort. South going back to the zone again, Matt, going back and forth.
Well, in that particular one, better to be lucky than good sometimes.
Right.
So inbounding from underneath their own basket. Set something up on one of these plays. Instead, they'll just fire it up to Murray standing near half court. Just under 6:30 to play in the first half of action. She works around a McIntyre screen. Karavanik at the top of the key. The freshman's first touch of the game, now driving and throwing one up underhanded. No good by Martin. Nashua South with the rebound. Martin grabs the second one. Maya Ryu's 3 is good.
Wow.
22-4, big lead for the Panthers extended.
Alvirne getting beat on the boards in that particular possession.
See how Alvirne's offense changes now that Grace Hodgson is checked back into the game and makes an impact almost immediately, taking it to the basket and fouled. I believe they're going to give that one to Kirsten McIntyre. They got to be careful. She's been in foul trouble early.
Hodgson took it right at her, went amongst the trees there and had an easy kick out, but instead gets fouled, and so Alvirne will get possession. And as you mentioned, another foul on McIntyre.
Hodgson once again driving. Finds a pass out to the top of the key. Long pass and an errant one looking for DuBois. And another turnover for Alvirne.
That pass was airmailed over to Coach Mazerol there. And Lisa Gingras, athletic director here, host of the tournament.
They didn't think they'd be getting in on the action. Taking it from left to right will be Maya Ryu and the Nashua South Purple Panthers enjoying an 18-point lead, 22-4 with 5:45 left to go in the second quarter. And an off-ball foul called on Maya Ryu trying to work around the screen. She just went elbow first into an Alvirne defender.
South will extend their full court pressure here.
Ryu for Ryu as Jordan checks in for Maya. Hodgson once again bringing the ball up for Alvirne. Extended rest for Hodgson, so you would expect her to stay in for at least the rest of this first half and get Alvirne on the board. They have not scored any points here in the second quarter as of yet. For Rugrock and Hodgson really doing the majority of the ball handling for the Broncos. Finds Sadara Ochieng, back to Rugrock on the left side. Rugrock spinning into the paint, pass out to Ochieng, who will now try a drive. Goes baseline and a foul called.
Good quick step there on the baseline, and that drives you nuts as a coach. You tell your kids to move your feet, never give up the baseline. That's one of the first things you teach as a coach, so it's got to be frustrating for both player and coach there.
That's the 8th team foul for Nashua, both sides in the bonus. Alvirne has committed 6 infractions thus far, so get a 1-and-1 for Hadara Ochieng, 5'11" sophomore forward, and rolls off the back of the rim and in. Got to come on back.
I think, yeah, that wasn't an and one situation there.
You got to make the basket for the end one.
Well,
right?
the referees looking at each other.
That's the first Alvirne point here in the second quarter. 22-5 the score. Ochieng trying to knock a dead pair in, and she does.
Why not? Go back to the line again. Maybe they'll give you a third.
Who knows? Yeah, after those first two. The full court press broken by the Purple Panthers. They'll slow things up with Juliana Martin working it around the left side. The right-hand dribble. Looks to drive.
Nice back door off that pick again, Matt.
And drops it in.
Wow. If you're the Broncos, you got to solve that, Matt. You got to solve it quick.
Karavanic's first basket of the game comes on a rather easy pick and roll. It's been the majority of the offense for Nashua South thus far, and that one knocked out of bounds.
And they're setting those picks high, Matt, so it's a man-to-man defense by Alvirne. So what they're doing is they're bringing the Alvirne defense out to the three-point line, setting up those picks. There's nobody underneath, and when they roll, there's nobody there.
I'm going to say that Rugrock was fouled, so we'll see her at the line. And you mentioned, Jason, they're setting them up high. The Panthers have done a good job of really spreading them out so that it opens up those lanes. As Rugrock misses the free throw, but there's Ochieng looking for a drive once again, and a kickball called will stay with Alvirne. But going back to that Nashua South offense, they found a strategy that works for them, and they've really taken advantage of their size, namely with McIntyre and Karavanic, the freshman.
Yeah, no doubt, Matt. And one of the things you see that I really like is, there's not a lot of dribbling here. There's a lot of good ball movement. Both teams, really, not a lot of dribbling, good passing, good movement, and as a result, good crisp plays.
Hodgson, as you mentioned, dribbling around.
Dribbling around the outside of the perimeter, of course.
That's the first time, to be fair, that we've seen that. Here's Eliana Ochieng over to Hadara Ochieng. Before a pass in the corner as Rugrock try a drive, finds Hodgson, fakes the shot, looks down low, a little floater, no good.
Great defense.
Bonella with the rebound. That one's knocked away and picked up by Ochieng on the side, and a foul as she was looking for his sister on the pass. So 9th, make it the 10th team foul for Nashua, so into the double bonus with 4:18 to go.
And that's a cheap one, Matt. You hate to see, foul, ticky-tack foul like that with 4 minutes to play here in the first half. Giving them freebie after freebie here, especially now that you're in the bonus.
It's been about the only knock on Nashua South thus far is that they've been sloppy defensively at times. It sounds weird to say that when they've only given up 6 points, but it's because they've been very aggressive.
And if you have a deep bench and you have the ability to play aggressive like that, then certainly, those are things that you want to see. But now that you know how the officials, as she hits the second, now that you see how the officials are calling this, that might change the way you play just a little.
Alvirne backing off a bit on that full court press as Ariana Murray takes it up. Trapped into the corner. Good work off the screen, trying for that pass, but instead having to resort to Obanello upstairs. This is Camille Michaud, her first action as she'll find the pass.
They're going to try it again. They pick ball side. Good switch there by Alvirne.
They're just going right back to it. That ball knocked away from Juliana Martin. They're going to say it was off of her. Alvirne takes over with 3:54 to go, and even in that short span, running that same play 2-3 times, they are just attacking this weakness in the Alvirne defense. This one goes to Hodgson. They'll trap near her own baseline. Finds Rugrock up to Ochieng, and Michon with some good defense coming off the bench. Ochieng on the left side, guarded by Obanello. Ochieng has it knocked away, and the foul called on Murray at the top of the key. And of all the fouls called, that one probably the most ball.
And again, you know, you kind of, after what we've been seeing here, they're quick on the whistle, so you have to be a little bit more feet conscious rather than hand conscious. Move your feet, get position, don't reach.
First one dropped in there by Eliana Ochieng as Maya Ryu checks in. Juliana Martin will take a seat on the bench. And on that last one, Jason, Murray just kind of stepped in front. On those ones, you'd like to see him kind of go off to the side, see if he can get a hand in there instead of putting the body.
Well, again, and move your feet. I mean, you've created position. Keep those feet moving. It's not a charge type situation, so keep moving your feet.
Over on the left elbow is Murray, who committed that last foul, which was the 11th of the half for the Panthers. She'll take a shot. This one's good. 2 or 3. No marking yet. They're going to say it was a two-pointer. Foot was on the line.
I'll tell you what happened right there, Matt. That pick was set, and both defenders stayed on her, giving her the wide open, too.
Starting to at least attempt to adapt to that. Doesn't work on that one, although it is just for 2. Murray's foot was on the line. A 26-8 lead for the Panthers. So Bonello guarding Rugrock. Into the corner. Two boys pass back up to Ochieng, and Rugrock will take it around again. Goes right, now cuts left. Spinning shot off the backboard, no good, well
Great
short.
Defense.
Phenomenal defense by Iruka Obanello, the 5'9" junior forward, as Maya Rio on the left side dumps it downstairs.
Wow, well done.
Turn and a shot by Covert.
Well done.
For Nashua South.
Great recognition there.
Maya Rio, who had just come off an extended rest on the bench, had some time to find those holes in the defense. And boy, shot good from just inside the three-point stripe. Look at 28-10. Ryu with another long pass, looking for Obanello. Underneath, she goes up, and they're going to call a travel before the foul. So a good job of stepping in despite the size differential there from Grace Hodgson.
Right. No easy layup that time, and contested the shot, went straight up. No foul. Travel called.
Covert was coming in from behind.
Yeah, she was, and again, the old eyes in the back of your head trick.
Only Maya Ryu's shown that off today. His trap works, but Hodgson able to grab it off the tip. That was Catherine Covert getting a hand on it. Rugrock looking for Setcher
Travel, yeah.
Travels before the shot. 2:10 to play in the second quarter. Alvirne softening up a bit on their full court press. Panthers have done a good job of breaking it. A little bit more breakout offense here in the second quarter. This pass just long, looking for Kylie Daw, who checked into the game for the first time.
Really the first bad pass, the first off-target pass that I've seen South throw so far today.
Another substitute as Catherine Covert checks out of the game. It'll be Vanessa Reeder, the sophomore forward, checking in for the first time with 2:03 left to go in the first half, and making an impact right away. Knocks that inbound pass. It's going to go down to the baseline. It'll stay with Alvirne. Taking a second off the clock, 2:02 to go, and right back in the face of the inbounder. Reeder bouncing around. They'll find Hodgson, who's double teamed.
Comes the trap.
Tried to split it, instead went around the outside. Setcheroli dumps it downstairs. It's Dubois, the layup, and good off the glass. 28-12 the score, and Alvirne showing a bit more offense here. More defense as well as that double team working, but Daw being the one to pass it across the half-court stripe. Kylie Michon downstairs to Reeder. Her first shot attempt is good. 30 points in the first half for Nashua South.
Well done by Nashua South there. Good patience, finding the open pass, making the easy layup.
Hodgson able to bring it across the time stripe. 1:20 to go. Hodgson and Rugrock at the top. Here's Setcheroli. Double team. Reeder will now drop downstairs. Pass goes back up to Hodgson. Waiting to check in is Elizabeth DeRusha. Deep bench getting a bit deeper. A lot of these South players getting in for the first time with this big lead.
South moving their feet really well here, Matt, in the defensive end.
Hodgson with a pump fake on the 3. Now to Dubois. Back to Hodgson on the right elbow. Under a minute to go in the first half. Pass goes high. Able to be recovered by Dubois. And Rock again. Hodgson fires up a long two that goes in. Where's Hodgson?
That's frustrating for South. You have a great defensive effort there, really challenging everything, and a nice knockdown there for Alvirne.
35 seconds left in the half. Daw to the right side, and Ariana Murray, who's going to slow this up. Nashua looking to limit the shots in the first half. 30-14 they lead.
You're looking for Reeder there on the box. Looked like she had position for a split second.
Directing traffic downstairs. Here's Kylie Michon. Up top to Karavanek, and it's going to be Ariana Murray. Over to Michon with 13 seconds left, so Nashua South holding for the last shot. Karavanek with it. Now back to Murray. Trying to get some penetration here, and it's turned over. Hodgson with 3 seconds left. Trying to drive across, and going to call a block.
Yeah. That was on Murray, and again, you hate to see that.
There's a couple schools of thought on that. You know, you don't want to allow any easy baskets, but with 2 seconds left and they're driving down, now you give her the easiest shot of all the free throw.
Easiest shot, two foul shots. Contest it, move your feet, stay on that baseline, arms to your side, make her earn it. You have a height advantage there. She's going to have to shoot it over you. Instead, she gets 2 uncontested foul shots.
Hodgson drains the first one as Elizabeth DeRusha, the freshman guard, checks in. Hodgson with the dead pair, 2 for 2. 2.2 seconds left to go. Reeder on the inbound. Kylie Daw, the half-court attempt at the buzzer, no good, just short. But after one half of play, 30-16, the Nashua South Purple Panthers allowed 4 points defensively in the first quarter. Softened up a bit on the defensive end in the second quarter. What was the difference for Alvirne?
I think Alvirne started making their shots, really. I don't think it was as a result of South not playing good defense. They contested everything. Their arms were up. They had good body positioning. I think Alvirne got a little busier on the offensive rebounds, and they were able to get some of those boards, and as a result, get some second chances. And you look at the foul shots. You know, you get a little bit greedy, a little bit aggressive, and you get whistled for those. If you're in the bonus, you're giving them some free points there. So Alvirne doing what they're supposed to do, knock down the foul shots, work hard on the glass, and South, you know, as a result, up 14 here. Could be a lot worse.
Nashua South scored 48 points in their opening round game yesterday against Campbell. They have 30 points in the first half here in the semifinals against Alvirne. Matt Neverett and Jason Roby back at you from Nashua South for the second half when we return.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Welcome back into Nashua South High School. Matt Neverett, Jason Roby, and Tim Collins here on Nashua ETV, here with girls semifinal number 1 in the 4th annual Nashua Chic-fil-A Holiday Tournament. And it's the home team, the Nashua South Purple Panthers, up big on the visiting Alvirne Broncos, 30-16. And Jason, with all the action going on here in Nashua, you look around the city of Nashua, and Bishop Girton girls, the 4-time defending state champions, they're down in Florida at the Naples, Florida Holiday Shootout. They'll take on Miami Country Day High School tomorrow at 4:30. What can we expect from them this year?
Well, they took their show on the road. They are a very good team. I've had a chance to cover them a couple of times, and Brad Craik has done a tremendous job over there at BG. And boy, I would be surprised if you didn't see him the drive for 5. I know he doesn't like to talk about it. It's one game at a time. It's coach speak, right? You got the most talent in the state, and anything short of a finals trip would probably be a disappointment for them.
Hey, Brad Craik, former Brown hockey player. He's won 4 state championships in his 4 years, so much of the same expected. For Bishop Girton down in Naples, Florida this week, but here in Nashua, it's the Purple Panthers getting the ball to start the second half, and Maya Ryu has it knocked away and going down to the floor. Great job by Jordan Hodgson, who has shown off the ball handling acumen early, doing it to start the second half. Their squad down 14. Now Alvirne scored 4 points in the first quarter. They tripled that in the second quarter with 16 points in the first half. The Nashua's 30, and the Purple Panthers scored 48 points in their opening round matchup. And already on a pace to well usurp that here. And Alvirne slowing the offense way down to start the second half, moving from left to right in their maroon and Vegas gold uniforms. Purple Panthers in the all-white garb with the purple accents. The shot from the corner from Ochieng, no good. Maya Ryu knocks that ball away, but it goes right back off to her. The pass from Catherine Covert, and Ryu into the corner. Murray takes it down low, looking along the baseline. This one knocked away, and Ryu just able to save that one going back across the half-court stripe. Now looking for a drive, finding some pressure is Martin, so she's got to revert back to the outside. Both teams slowing it way up tempo-wise to start the second half.
No shot clock here in the state of New Hampshire, Matt, so they can just stand out there all day.
Take what you can get as Hodgson fouls Juliana Martin on the outside, trying to drive. Panthers have not employed that pick and roll that was so successful yet here in the second half with 6:42 to go. And now looking forward on the inbound plays. It's out to Murray. A reset to Ryu. Who goes to the left. She'll point on the pick. It's got Kirsten McIntyre. Now to the right is Ryu. Wasn't even looking for a shot there. She was looking for that drive. McIntyre didn't take it.
Juliana Martin was wide open on the backside block, but pass never made it there. Is Alvirne going to get called for another foul? And it looks like the roles have been reversed here. Seems like the Panthers were called for a lot of reach-in fouls in the first half, and now Alvirne has a couple here to start the second.
Yeah, both from Grace Hodgson. That one on Catherine Covert attempting a drive. Back up top to Ryu, who has been the point guard for the majority. Long two, no good off the top of the rim from Juliana Martin. Rebound goes to Ochieng and the Alvirne Broncos. And
I'm sure Martin wishes she had that one back. It was a wide open shot.
Ochieng pump fake. That would have been a long two. Great job by McIntyre to get out there and defend it. Now Rugrock spinning around. She's done a lot of the ball handling, Jason.
Yeah.
I don't think she's taken a shot yet. Knocked down.
Know your role, Matt Neverett.
Hey, that'd be my role. I'm not much of a shooter either. And Martin knocks her down as she was trying to spin around. So some slow offense and some fouls defensively to get things started really for both teams. No baskets yet in the second half. Rugrock trying to find an inbound.
Nice job on the give and go on the baseline play. No good. Got to make those bunnies.
Just a little bit too much oomph on that shot attempt. The layup from Rugrock. This three-pointer by Martin, no good. Rebound goes to McIntyre. She goes right back up and should have come down to the floor before firing that one back up. She tried to just push it on the rebound.
Had a chance to get her composure there and settle in, but forced it and maybe rushed it a bit.
Ryu able to get a hand on the ball, and the rebound goes to Martin. Maya Ryu with some great defensive closing in, keeping the hands up, and very nearly had that rebound. She'll try a three now on the other end. That one no good.
Both baskets are covered in the early going here, Matt, and that's a play right there. You saw the ball going out of bounds underneath your own hoop, and Rugrock saved it, or tried to save it, and would have been better served to let it go. South will get possession back.
Murray to inbound. She finds McIntyre contested tightly in that corner. This goes off the hands of Covert. Some 10-on-10 action is Rugrock battling on the outside. Now working around is Martin. Handoff goes to Murray. Murray with the left trying to drive, finds Ryu. Three-point attempt. No good off the front of the rim. Ochieng with the rebound going the other way. Just under 5 to play in the third quarter.
They can't take the cover off that basket, and so nobody has scored yet. Martin getting called for yet another foul and a cheap one reaching in. So she'll take a seat.
Yeah, Jordan Ryu and Iruka Obanello checking in. They will spell Martin and Covert. So 30-16. That was our score heading into the half.
We're just about 4 minutes in here, and neither team has scored thus far.
Rugrock with the ball once again, guarded tightly by Obanello. She's been stellar defensively and on the glass in that first half. And swats that one away. Rugrock has it blocked again. They'll call the foul on Obanello.
Boy, Obanello, I don't know if that was Ryu who got called in the foul. Looked like she got all ball there.
That was on number 12.
Yeah.
We'll get Ryu, yeah. So Obanello coming in and doing some stout defense early, knocking away a couple of pass attempts and very nearly had that block as Rugrock misses the free throw, keeping the score 30-16. A pair of substitutions as both Hadara and Eliana Ochieng checking out as Kaliana Sacharoli into the game. Once again, her first action in the second half. Rugrock trying to get the Broncos on the board in the second half, and she does. That one rolling around every part of the rim, 30-17. This Nashua lead now trimmed to 13. Looking for that pass down low and tipped away. It's going to stay with the Panthers, but a great effort by Paige McKinley for Alvirne.
Yeah, the Broncos fell back into their half-court defense and were able to defend that pass.
Ryu on the inbound. Finds Ariana Murray, one of 3 captains. Murray, McIntyre, and Maya Ryu, the 3 captains. Here's Jordan Ryu. Fakes left, she'll go right, pulls up, calls for the pick. It's McIntyre. McIntyre doesn't drive. Vanello on the top has her pass attempt knocked away. And the foul called on Rugrok. Call that one on
Obanello, I think, Matt.
Yeah.
Yep.
Alvirne's ball moving left to right. Some ticky-tacky defense to get the second half started. Bounded to McKinley, guarded tightly by Ryu. Rugrok attempting a three from the top of the key, no good off the back of the rim. Trying to grab her own rebound, it's Sacciaroli going up and fouled. We'll see who they give that one to. A couple of defenders right there, and they're going to go ahead and give that one to Obanello. So her second foul early in the second half, 4:05 to go in the third quarter.
If I'm not mistaken, Matt, she had one or two in the first half as well. I don't have my stats right here in front of me, but
it's a give-or-take defensive strategy. She's very aggressive.
Yep.
She's had a couple of blocks, but a number of fouls. And after Sacciaroli misses the first free throw, Nashua South calling a timeout to try and reset here. It'll be a full minute-long timeout. 4:05 to play in the third quarter. And already, Jason, 5 fouls for Nashua South here in the second half. And those do not reset after the quarter.
No, that's right, Matt. And you're going to see the game, the complexion of the game change quite a bit here if you keep getting those cheap fouls.
Yeah, Nashua South already almost halfway through this third quarter have not scored since about a minute left in the first quarter. So drought offensively. How do you break that if you're the head coach here? If you're John Bourgeois really facing some adversity after a big win yesterday.
Right, and I think for South, you go back to what worked for you, and obviously Alvirne has made some adjustments here to take those things away, but you saw earlier here, you still had some open baseline jump shots that you were making in the first half, and now you're not.
Yeah, and that pick and roll has really gone away. There has not been a lot of pick and roll in this second half. You've seen Kristen McIntyre set those picks and kind of just head back up towards the top of the key. South was at an advantage, and they were really driving hard towards the basket. Those passing lanes were there.
Yep.
So here's Kaliana Sacciaroli. She made the first free throw, or rather missed the first free throw. Drains the second one, 50% on that trip to the line halfway through the third quarter, 30-18. Nashua South leading, but the lead getting smaller and smaller. Good move by Murray. She drives, finds Ryu, and a travel call. Got just a bit too excited on the pump fake.
That was good execution by South up until the turnover. Nice dribble drive there, penetrate and kick it back out. And there is your defense, as South is going to make a great play in the trap game, and we'll get possession back.
Yeah, got lucky there. That one off the hands of Paige McKinley, and she was South after that ill-advised travel. Gives it right back to Jordan Ryu. Tries to drive, goes downstairs, has it knocked away from Rugrok. And that one looked to be all ball, but they'll call the foul instead.
And interestingly enough, Matt, and again, from our perspective, we're seeing it right in front of us, but the backside referee made that call.
Yeah, usually there's a pretty well-defined system of who calls what, and broken there as Ryu will take her first trip to the charity stripe. First one's good. First point of the second half for Nashua South. Jordan Ryu, the 5'2" sophomore guard. Right-handed release is up and off the back of the rim, no good. Obanello brings it down. Oh, she tries to go up and has it ripped away by Sacciaroli. Good defense coming off the miss.
Obanello, lucky she didn't get called for over the back there on that rebound.
Rugrok at the top, guarded by Obanello. This has been the case for the majority of the second half here for Alvirne. Rugrok tries to drive, not going to get past Obanello easily. She gets the pass back and now fires upstairs. The shot from Sacciaroli, no good. Obanello has it fall right into the lap. Her pass to Ryu goes out of bounds.
South packing the defense in there, Matt, and daring Alvirne to take the outside shot. They got the defensive rebound. Unfortunately, just a bad pass, and Alvirne will get possession.
Inbounding from under their own net. Bounce pass goes to Dubois, trying to spin around. Sacciaroli up top. They'll reset to Rugrok with 3:10 to go in the third quarter. McKinley downstairs. Fake pass and the layup good.
Nice shot.
Alvirne back to within 11, 31-20. Nashua South anemic offensively here in the second half. Maya Ryu looking to change that around. Obanello with the pick. She tries to drive the bounce pass to her in some traffic. Back to Ryu at the top of the key. Not been nearly as decisive with those drives in the second half. Mainly McIntyre and Obanello, the two bigs for South, and Ryu has it go off her hands once again. Another second half turnover for Nashua South. McKinley down into the corner, Centuroli. McKinley back again on the give and go. Layup, but no good. Rudegrock tips it. McKinley able to find it on the baseline. Fortunate bounce there for Alvirne. Rudegrock puts the feet down, and McKinley knocks it away, but a bit too aggressive on the approach. They'll call her for the infraction. It's the 16th foul for Nashua South here in the second half as Hadnara and Eliana Ochieng checking in. Rico Bonello subbed out as Ariana Murray, or rather Catherine Covert, back into the game, the 5'8" senior guard. Shot from Dubois off the inbound, no good. McKinley able to go up and grab it. It'll be Murray to bring it up. Murray flanked by both Maya and Jordan Ryu on the wings.
There's your pick and roll again.
Double team, see if they can pass out of it here. Murray's three, no good. Bounces off of both sides of the rim. Falls right into the awaiting arms of Paige McKinley, who turns it around. She goes downstairs, and the charge.
Oh, it's called for the block. They're calling a block on that one.
Oh, looked like she had both the feet down. A restricted area like you have in the
Use that European sidestep there, Matt.
Yeah, it looked to me like Murray was able to get both feet down. You can't really teach it much better than that, and I think she's asking, did I get both feet down? And one of the referees explaining that she did not.
Nashua South bench also asking what the call was there.
Free throw from McKinley, good.
Noticing right now the head coach for Nashua South is not on the bench.
Yeah, John Bourgeois in his first year. This is his first Chick-fil-A holiday tournament, and I don't think he came out from the halftime break with the team. So after the first make for McKinley, it'll be Alvirne calling a timeout, 31-22 the score. All of a sudden, the Broncos coming on back.
It looks like Ray DeRusha, the longtime assistant coach, will be calling things in the huddle here for the Purple Panthers. And you look up at that scoreboard, and suddenly what was a runaway is now a highly contested game. 9-point advantage for South.
That lead was up to 20 at one point, and they have exactly 1 point in the second half. 1:56 left to go. And Everett, Jason Roby here with you in the first of two girls semifinals today, Alvirne versus South. Tip-off was at 2 in this one. Merrimack will take on Nashua North at 3:30 here this afternoon. We'll have the coverage for you here on Nashua ETV. And on the boys' side, starting at 5 o'clock, it'll be Thornton against the highly heralded Nashua North Titans with Curtis Harris, a two-sport stud, and Alvirne and Goffstown at 6:30. Which of those two are you looking forward to seeing tonight?
I'll tell you what, I really want to get a chance to see this Nashua North team. And I know the kids personally, but I've yet to see them play a game, so I'm excited. I know they took it to Milford last night, but excited to see them run a little bit.
All 10 players on one side of the court as Alvirne employing a big-time press. And
definitely a blocking foul there. Needed to cover up more of that baseline and couldn't do it. Extended her leg, get called for the foul.
Just kind of stuck the leg out, trying to impede the progress of Jordan Ryu. It's Maya Ryu taking it across the stripe with some speed. Slows it up and puts it around back to the top of the key. She'll find Murray. Murray down to Jordan Ryu, back up top, back and forth they go with 1:40 to go, and Ryu will set the offense and call a play. Get two screens on Ochieng at the top. Ryu takes it to the right, finds Jordan Ryu. Back up top to Covert, and Nashua South content to swing it around. Here's McIntyre.
Well done.
Down near the glass, spins around and finishes with the left.
Well done.
First field goal of the half.
Wait a minute. South just scored the basket, and then they took it out of bounds. I have never seen that before.
It's one of those ones you'll miss if you don't pay attention.
McIntyre scored the hoop, and then South took it out. They almost got another possession, a 2-for-1 there.
Alvirne breaking the press, the pass to Ochieng, one dribble.
Well done.
And rolling around on the layup, and brought it within 9 once again, a minute to go in the third.
I was going to say, Matt, we don't have number 34 on our rosters for Alvirne, a prominent player. The white headband there.
McIntyre spinning around once again. Her shot no good. If I had to guess, Jason, Alyssa Anderson listed at number 24.
24.
5'8" forward. She's a senior. Maybe they just switched the jerseys before.
That could be.
We'll say Anderson if she takes
there she is.
If it's not Alyssa Anderson,
I'm going to give it to her. I don't see a 28 on the bench, Matt, so I think you're right.
We'll go with that. Covert finding McIntyre. Big size mismatch. Maya Ryu passing up the open shot with 30 seconds left to go. Calling the offense as McIntyre sets the pick to the right. Ryu will take it. Dishes it back upstairs. South looking content to hold till the end of the quarter. Their lead is evaporated now, up by a 33-27 score. Alvirne settling into their offense here in the second half. Murray back up top, now to the left, picks up her dribble and finds Covert. 10 seconds left, Maya Ryu with it. Covert sets the screen. Drop downstairs, the pass goes off the hands, trying to spin and make something happen. 4 seconds to go. Jordan Ryu, no good on the layup. And Alvirne will get the rebound and finish out the quarter. That start of the second half was all Alvirne early, 33-27. The Purple Panthers with just a free throw and a layup in that third quarter.
That lead that was insurmountable only about a half hour ago is now 6, and a tale of two halves is Alvirne making a fierce comeback here. In the absence of Nashua South head coach John Bourgeois.
30-14 at the half, a 13-3 run to start out the later portion of this game by Alvirne. What was the biggest difference?
Well, I think the things that South had success with early on, the backdoor cuts, the easy layups, Alvirne started getting that defense down a little bit, and when South would kick the ball out, they missed some mid-court jumpers. So I think some missed opportunities there for South, but also some defensive adjustments for Alvirne.
Yeah, and for South, kind of curious to see them go away from that pick and roll with the drive that worked so well in the first half, and would not be surprised in the slightest to see them go back to it here in the fourth quarter. They lead by 6, but it feels like they're down just based on the way that third quarter went.
Just the momentum change in this game, and you could see it really on the looks of the faces of the kids. When South came out at halftime, it was all smiles and laughing, and now a little bit more of a serious look on the Purple Panthers' faces, and it's Alvirne that seems to be a little bit more loose in their approach.
Nashua South will come out of the huddle with Jordan and Maya Ryu, Catherine Covert, Ariana Murray, and Eruka Obanello. So with a more quick lineup, trying to work around some of these screens. Back to that zone defense here to start quarter number 4. 33-27. Nashua on top, but 13-3 run for Alvirne in that third quarter. They'll look to keep up that momentum, at least offensively, here in the final period of play. And girls semifinal number 1, a 4th annual Chic-fil-A Classic at Nashua South High School. 2-3 zone with Maya and Jordan Ryu up top. Pass goes into the middle for Rugrock, and she'll take it out herself, guarded by Maya Ryu to McKinley. The dish back to Rugrock. 2-point attempt, no good. Shot from McKinley, in and out.
Wow.
Grabbed by Du Bois. Her layup, no good. Rugrock brings it down. She's on the floor, and a travel called. An unfortunate circumstance there for Alvirne as they were all over the glass. 7:16 left to go, and looks like Alvirne's going to back off as McIntyre checks in, and also checking back in is John Bourgeois, emerging almost from the rafters down on the left side. See if his return to the bench gives the Purple Panthers a bit more confidence offensively. Jordan Ryu with it. She'll take the left. This one blocked. Rugrock stepping in that passing lane. So Chiang stripped away from Maya Ryu.
Good
the
quick
handoff
hands.
goes to Murray, turning it the other way. Murray with the 3. Bang!
Big shot there for Ariana Murray.
36-27, Purple Panthers back up by 9. Big time three-pointer, and the ball goes back to Nashua South with an errant pass.
And I'll tell you right now, Matt, if I'm Alvirne, there are no 6-point possessions here. You can't get all 6 points back in one possession, so there's no need to rush this. Take your time, get a good shot. You've done all this work to get back into this thing. You don't need to get it done in one possession. An offensive foul, yeah.
They're going to call that one on Ryu, trying to work around a screen. And meanwhile, before that play, Juliana Martin checking back in. She'll spell Jordan Ryu. Both Jordan and Maya Ryu have done a lot of the legwork as far as the guard work goes. And now Nashua South going with their big lineup, Obanello and McIntyre downstairs, and back to a man defense. 36-27, the lead back up to 9. Alvirne slowing things up. Ochieng back downstairs to Du Bois. Her layup no good. McIntyre tipped it away and goes down as it's turned over. Ochieng, long 2 from the elbow, no good. The air ball. Obanello will watch that one go out of bounds back to South.
Alvirne's going to look at their last 3 possessions, Matt. They came away with 0 points. They had 2 missed layups and an open jump shot that they missed that really they're going to look back on those 3 possessions and they're going to have made a difference in this game.
It's the missed layups that really hurt. Those are about as easy as they get, especially with some of the looks they've had on the give and go. Danello over to Murray. Murray trying to get something going. She'll drive. Runner.
Pretty.
Nice shot in the double-digit lead for Nashua South. 38-27. Murray just going over the top there, bouncing it off the glass. Rugrock going right inside. And
another missed layup. It was contested that time, but a missed layup nevertheless.
But too much momentum. She shot that one more or less off a full sprint. Martin over to Murray. Pump fakes on the 3. She drives in the push, and we're going to call a defensive foul. So that was Hadara Ochieng just kind of stepping in the way, and both Ochieng and Murray getting up rather slowly.
An offensive foul. Yeah, both officials looked at each other, and I think one was going to call a block and one was going to call a charge, and maybe it was a rock, paper, scissors duel to figure out which one came on top.
Very official, right?
I think that's how we do it here in New Hampshire. Matt, I wanted to ask you, what do you think? No shot clock in the state of New Hampshire. I think only one of a handful of states that do not employ a shot clock.
I mean, obviously there's good and bad parts to that, and there are some examples, and they usually make national news when they happen, of teams that, you know, they're scared of what's going to happen, so they hold the ball for an entire quarter, an entire half.
We have teams that have done that here,
obviously
yes.
That's bad for the game, but, you know, you get circumstances where there's maybe 40 seconds left to go. You have the ball, you're up 2. You don't want to give the other team another possession,
right.
So I think it depends who you ask.
I would agree.
As a neutral third party, I don't see anything wrong with it. I think that especially in the boys' game, as you get to a higher level at the varsity high school ranks, you'd like to see it mimic more of the collegiate basketball style. But, I mean, I think in general, there's not too much wrong with it.
Okay.
You wonder what's going on over the scores table. Yeah, it's almost a pseudo timeout. Is John Bourgeois back on the bench?
I think they're looking at foul discrepancy. You had a player control foul, an offensive foul on Nashua South, and I know Ray DeRusha, the assistant coach for South, keeps the stat book, and I think he has a discrepancy maybe with the official book at the table as they're talking to that official as well.
This one more or less a timeout, as now both coaches, John Bourgeois and Chris Cheatham, are going to call their teams over and try and talk things out. And now DeRusha back to the bench, the referees and the scorekeepers. And Nashua South using 4 students over there on the scores table. I would say good and bad parts to that as well. This being one of the negatives, if it is in fact something on their end.
You get your Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich and a drink, and here's the book.
That's probably all they got to pay him, right? 524.
Is that what we're getting, Matt? I don't
that was never mentioned to me. I was never promised anything.
I love a sandwich.
I'm here for the love of the game, right?
and a Chick-fil-A sandwich. I think I got one last year. It was delicious.
I might get one on the way out.
Wonderful job by the Chick-fil-A folks for sponsoring this tournament. The 4th year that Chick-fil-A has done this, and in the game program that we've been provided here. Nice message from Lisa Gingras, talking about Chick-fil-A for sponsoring the event, as well as all the other businesses and individuals that contributed financially to make this event a success. And also want to thank the tournament director, Allison Lynn, for all of her hard work here that she puts in. I see Allison all the time over at Nashua North, and she does the work of 5 people. So a great tournament here, and nice to also see the hockey tournament back over at Conway Arena here in Nashua. It took a year hiatus and is back. I know Tom King shuttles back and forth between the 2 venues to cover both events. So
he'll be back later tonight. He'll be on the call for that Alvirne Goffstown game at 6:30. And so after all that, let's see if anything on the scoreboard changes. Nashua South with 9 team fouls as compared to 4 for Alvirne. I didn't notice anything changed, did you?
Nope.
So much ado about nothing. 5:24 left to go in this game, the first of 2 semifinals here from Nashua South. And the Purple Panthers playing some stout defense, and a foul called on McIntyre. That one looked to be, I would say, a light touch.
Yeah, aggressive with the hands, and again, like we talked about in the first half, they've been consistent with that call. It's not as if they put the whistles away or took them out at any particular time in the game. They've been blowing that consistently, so
That's all you want to see, whether or not you like the foul call, as long as they're calling it consistently.
Right.
It's like a home plate umpire in baseball with the strike zone.
That's correct.
Whether it's good or bad, as long as they're consistent, you can kind of give them.
It's been consistently bad. There you go.
You hear that a lot, especially in the minor leagues. Eliana Ochieng with the first free throw, bringing the lead back down to 10 for Nashua South. Second one's no good, so the Panthers will keep their 10-point lead, at least for now. Just over 5 minutes to go in the game, looking to hold on. It's all South early. They've done whatever they can to just maintain the lead in the second half. Errant pass scooped up by Juliana Martin, who takes it at the top of the key. Ochieng gets a hand in there, playing tight defensively. There's Jordan Rio on the right side. It's around Obanello's screen. McIntyre, who does not put the ball on the floor very often. One dribble there and over to Murray. Murray around a screen, has a lay-in, the left-handed lay-in, no good. Rebound grabbed by Rugrok and pressured defensively by Ariana Murray, who would be the 6-foot sophomore forward to bring it up. So South still leading by 10, but 10 team fouls, so every foul will be 2 free throws for Alvirne. This is when the game slows way down and kind of benefits Alvirne if they can be aggressive offensively, which they have not been in the last 5 minutes or so.
Broncos showing good patience here to get the ball down low.
Ochieng,
nice job.
McIntyre. That's an easy lay-in. Lead back down to 8, 38-30.
Ochieng, the recipient of that bounce pass, and a great finish by her. She goes up over McIntyre.
South with just 8 points here in the second half. Murray driving once again. Obanello was blocked off on that pass attempt. McIntyre with the hand to Ryu. Jordan Ryu with the left back up top. She picks up the dribble, has to find Obanello. Under 4 minutes to go. Obanello sets the screen.
Ooh, a little hand check there.
Side is Martin, and a timeout called. I think that was to prevent a little bit of what you were saying.
Yeah.
It was getting a little bit
choppy
up top. And John Bourgeois seeing that and knowing the foul situation, cannot let your players get into bad situations like that. I think that's a great timeout call.
I also think that you're seeing the South play a little differently. They're a little more reluctant than they were in the first half. They're almost playing not to lose instead of to win here. Trying to wait out the clock, so to speak. And I'd like to see them get back into their half-court set where they're more aggressive, attacking the hoop. When they've done that, they've had some great success. The further out they bring that offense, Alvirne just extends it and is able to come away with some turnovers or player-controlled fouls.
Yeah, at a certain point, you just got to go possession for possession with Alvirne, which they have been able to do when necessary. But in that first half, they were blazing towards the net on those pick and rolls off the screens. I would like to see them kind of get back towards some of that as this game winds down with 3:44 left to play.
And even the ones, Matt, that have been contested down low, at least you're on the block, you're getting a good look at the basket, and at the very least, you're going to get fouled and get a trip to the charity stripe. So I'd like to see South get back to the things that put them on a pace for 60-plus points here.
Yeah, and South has not shot the lights out from 3. They've been at their best where they can drive it and get those easy lay-ins. So McIntyre out. We get Catherine Covert back in, and she'll receive the inbound pass. Maya Ryu also checking back in. It's Juliana Martin finding Ariana Murray. Guarded by Paige McKinley of Alvirne. They'll reset back to Maya Ryu. And once again, back on the left side to Murray. Obanello creeping up, threatening with the screen. She sets it and soft back towards the net. So it'll be Ryu. Ryu with the left. Just for the handoff.
They're not rolling to the basket anymore, Matt. Because they're being they're being played behind by the Alvirne defense, so they're not rolling to the basket like they were, which is congesting things at the top of the three-point line.
They keep trying it and having to pick up the dribble. It's happened 3 or 4 times on this possession alone. So Ryu's going to try and do something one-on-one here. Covert setting the screen, but it'll be a foul on Hadara Ochieng.
And even though South gets that call, it's got to be frustrating for Coach Bourgeois. You want to see your offense have a little more fluidity to it than what we're seeing.
South can just get to the charity stripe. They've been pretty good from the free throw lines. They'll look to be aggressive and draw those fouls. Ryu, open 3 from the top of the key. No good off the front of the rim. Although the rebound goes to Juliana Martin. 3 minutes to go. South still leads by 8. Ryu to Obanello. Obanello guarded tightly.
Look where we are, Matt. We're standing at half court, running our half court set.
Murray can't get around Rugrok and Alvirne. Stalwart defensively here. Ryu driving around Ochieng. She'll slow it up. Back up top to Obanello. She tries to turn, and the foul called on Rugrog. Just kind of set that leg down in the path of Obanello.
Now, one of those situations, Matt, where if there was a shot clock, we would have seen a change of possession 3 times already.
Yeah, the last, what is that, 24, 48, 60. 2:37 to go. McIntyre checking back in. She'll spell Catherine Covert. Covert had an impact in the first quarter, not much since. And same with McIntyre. She's not been involved in the offense, at least since that first quarter. As I say that, she gets the inbound pass. A work around Ochieng. Finds it back up top. South content to just hold the ball. We were having that conversation about the lack of shot clock here in New Hampshire, and the Panthers taking advantage of it. All 5 players offensively outside the three-point line as of right now.
There was no Panther within 5 feet of the paint there, Matt.
Ryu driving. She'll try and go baseline. She spins, had the lane, but instead picked up the dribble, and she's knocked down by Dubois, and Alvirne bench not very happy about it with 2:10 to play.
Yeah, not the kind of basketball I don't believe that Alvirne wants to play, and if I'd be very frustrated. You play 30 seconds deep, 40 seconds deep in a possession, and it ends in a foul.
So here's Maya Ryu. They get the Panthers at least back to 9, a 1-and-1 from the line. Moreno on the first one. Here comes Grace Hodgson off the Alvirne bench. Haven't seen much of her in this fourth quarter. She was really
very active, yeah.
Offense.
Yep, pushed the ball well, good ball handling skills, good passing.
Second of 2 shots from Maya Ryu. Off the back of the rim, no good. Covert had checked back into the game. She strips this one away, and McKinley somehow able to find it. Back to Hodgson. She'll do the majority of the ball handling for the rest of the game. 2 minutes to go. She spins around, bounces, and out of bounds. And just trying to do a bit
too much, yeah.
Running towards that basket herself. McIntyre will check back in. Covert back out. So Covert in for the defense. Looks like they're going to go back and forth with her and Kirsten McIntyre. More efficient offensively. A double team in the corner, and timeout called by John Bourgeois.
Good call there too, because she was going to get called for the violation, either the 5-second or the 10-second violation at some point.
Just after that whistle, Murray tried to jump and kind of throw it off the leg, which is about as good as you could have done.
A great play right there, a good heads up. But one of the things that you want to stay away from in that trap game is you want to stay away from the corners and the sideline. That's where the defense wants you to go.
You can kind of back yourself into a corner both figuratively and literally in a situation like that. So the Nashua South Purple Panthers up 9, 39-30, just under 2 minutes to go. The Panthers in the single bonus, so every Alvirne foul will result in a 1-and-1, and Purple Panthers, or rather Alvirne, has been in the double bonus for some time now. But one thing I will say, Jason, is that the Panthers have done a great job of staying away from those fouls once they got into that double bonus.
Yeah, and I think, luckily for them, if they had been in that situation where they were fouling like they were in the first half, this game would be even tighter. A tale of 2 halves here. The best of times, the worst of times, and if you're Nashua South, you're hoping to get out of here with a victory.
You will see a lot of Grace Hodgson driving towards the net. That's where a lot of those defensive fouls for South came in the first 3 quarters of the game. Hodgson hadn't made much of an impact, hasn't been on the floor much of this fourth quarter. So definitely would expect to see a heavy dose of her with the ball and a lot of drives towards the net.
Alvirne's going to employ their 1-2 full court pressure here. And,
I'm going to call that one on Ochieng. So that'll send, I believe, McIntyre to the line. I'm going to call Eliana Ochieng, the senior wing, on that foul, and it will be McIntyre to the line for 2.
I will say this, not a bad situation if you're Alvirne playing aggressive like that, because the possession was only 1 second in length, and that's the time that maybe you do want to foul, because the last thing you want to see is South come up the floor and take 30, 40 seconds off the clock and then foul.
Especially if you can send one of the bigs to the line, Kirsten McIntyre, the tallest player.
So there you go. That's a win for Alvirne, even though they fouled.
It's a good foul. You play aggressive defense. You send a player to the line who's been struggling from the stripe and get a miss. So down 9, minute 40 to go. Chang fakes the 3. She'll drive, works right around Juliana Martin. That's about all she could do defensively there. You can tell that John Bourgeois and the South coaching staff have said, do not foul down the back stretch. Under a minute and 30 to go, less than 90 seconds to play. Murray guarded tightly by Hodgson. She's not allowing an inch. South likely content to just kind of work this one around. As Murray goes down.
That's going to be a steal.
This one picked away. Here's Hodgson, and look like a timeout called, I believe. Yeah, we're going to get an Alvirne timeout.
Interestingly enough, it looked like the ball was thrown, it was passed to Hodgson, and then the timeout was called. That's interesting, but nevertheless, a great play there by the Alvirne defense. And South, again, content to just try to run this thing out. And I'm not sure I like the strategy at this point because, like we talked about, Matt, Alvirne's going to foul, going to send you to the line with hopes that they can get possession of the ball back.
For Chris Cheatham and the Alvirne Broncos, that one looked like it was going to be a relatively easy run to the basket for Grace Hodgson, who has shown an affinity to do just that, even under pressure. It looked like they had their minds made up that as soon as that ball was turned over, they were going to call the timeout, do or die. And maybe not the worst of decisions. You can set up your offense. You said it earlier, you can't score 7 points on one basket.
Right.
So they're going to need at least 3 baskets to come back. So you maybe set up your next 2 offensive drives, including one here. And if you're John Bourgeois, the Nashua South Panthers, try to establish your defense, which they've done a better job of here in the 4th.
Yeah, and they're going to need more of it here. I saw Ochieng with a chance to take a 3-point shot on that last dribble drive that she knocked down for 2. Great layup by her, but at some point, if you're Alvirne, you have to think you're going to need to utilize a 3-point shot in one of these possessions.
South going with the smaller lineup, also going with the 2-3 zone on defense. It's Hodgson faking, driving, blocked, and a foul called. First in McIntyre. Looked about as straight up as you can be, but at least they've been consistent, right?
There you go. So with just over a minute to play, Hodgson's going to go to the line for a couple.
She has a unique technique.
Get it and shoot.
She gets the ball probably 3 feet behind the line, gets it, holds it above her head, and takes 2 steps in towards it, gets some of that momentum.
Yeah, she's dynamic. It's called a dynamic foul shot.
Bang. Dead pair. Go with what works. The Nashua South lead down to 5.
And that's the lowest as it's been since the early going of this game, Matt.
A minute and 1 second to play, 39-34, and Alvirne back into an aggressive full court trap.
And there it is, and that ball's going to be stolen again.
Hodgson trying to drive
Hodgson with a double dribble travel. Yeah, boy.
Great defense there from Ariana Murray.
And that's a lost opportunity there if you're the Broncos.
Chris Cheatham is hot. Alvirne head coach very aggressive on that sideline. 56 seconds to play. Looking to inbound. Murray with no one. She's looking for Ryu, and it's turned over. Ochieng with it. Drops to Hadara Ochieng.
Oh, boy.
Pass. Hodgson able to save it.
Keep your composure here if you're Alvirne.
Down 5, 50 seconds to go. Hodgson, a wraparound lay-in is good. The lead down to a single possession. Murray will take it across half court. This game just got interesting. And a foul called. I believe that's going to be on Eliana Ochieng. So we'll get a 1-and-1 here for Ariana Murray, junior guard. And Murray on that inbound looked like she was trying to find someone to pass it to and then realized she had a lot of open wood in front of her. 38.2 seconds. Nashua South.
Big foul shots here.
First end of the 1-and-1 is no good. McIntyre tips it up. It's brought down by Ochieng. Hadara Ochieng finds Sarah Rugrock. It's turned over.
Very aggressive. She just...
Double dribble called. Ariana Murray, and the entire South bench does not agree. Neither does John Bourgeois. He's asking what the double dribble was. Tough to see from our angle with a lot of bodies in between us and the ball, but Murray vehemently disagreed. 30 seconds left. Down 3. Here comes Hodgson and the Alvirne Broncos. She tries to drive aggressively. Out to Ochieng. Pump fakes on the 3 and a travel. She's done that a couple of times, and that's the opportunity to take the shot.
If you're Ochieng, maybe you're looking at that shot and you're taking the 3-pointer, hoping, one, that it goes in, 2, that it's a long rebound or an opportunity for you to at least foul if you don't get the rebound.
For Hadara Ochieng, all of those opportunities where she's gotten the ball in the catch and shoot, pump faked it and tried the drive, they've really all been from that same spot on the right side. I would say all of them except for that one, she made the right decision.
Right, no doubt. And, the time before she ends up making a nice layup on a drive, and there it looked like she had a little bit of distance between her and her defender to take that shot.
She has made a 3-pointer earlier in the game, and as you mentioned, Jason, I would say, a wide open shot there with your team down 3 under 30 seconds.
Sometimes, Matt, you tend to overthink things. You think if I do the dribble drive, we get the bucket down to 1, we put our full court press on, we've had success with it.
Nashua South coming out with their starters. Covert, Maya Ryu, Ariana Murray, Juliana Martin, and Kirsten McIntyre. Looking to extend this to a 2-possession game. Pass goes backwards to Maya Ryu along the baseline and fouled by Eliana Ochieng, and would expect to see a lot of that heading down the stretch. That's the 9th team foul for Alvirne, so it will be one more 1-and-1. Actually, the scoreboard just now showing 10, so every
10.
foul for either side will get 2 free throw shots, and Maya Ryu has been good from the stripe today.
And a good foul there, though, I think, because I think Ryu will take that right up the right side and be uncontested.
First one drops. Back to a 2-possession game, a 4-point lead for the Panthers. You can almost hear John Bourgeois from the other side saying no fouls. He does not want to send the Broncos to the line. Ryu, 2 for 2, and that's huge. The lead back to 5. South into the full court press with 20 seconds to go. Alvirne needs 2 baskets. A trip, and down hard is Paige McIntyre. Shows sportsmanship there from Catherine Covert to help her up. It'll be McKinley to the line. 2 shots, 17 seconds left. Alvirne trailing by 5. Gotta go 2 for 2 here if you're McKinley.
I would just rather see you force Alvirne to run a half-court offense instead of sending him to the line.
First one's good, and I think on that opportunity, Murray was almost a victim of circumstance. You know, she was just trying to keep it in front, ran out of room on this near side stripe, and Jordan Ryu will check in for Catherine Covert. More of an offensive presence. Now one
Shooter's touch.
Get it out, and a timeout call from Alvirne. So a big-time pair of free throws from Paige McKinley, 5'6" freshman guard. So this Alvirne team with 5 seniors, they've also got a great freshman in McKinley who's made a big impact. They're down 3, 17 seconds left to go, and would not be surprised if they continue to foul.
Alvirne has the experience. You've mentioned the seniors in the group, and when you're a freshman that's playing with 5 seniors, you become an upperclassman real quick. And I think Alvirne has ridden that experience here in the second half. A 1-possession game. You're going to go to your full court press, hope for a turnover, and like you said, if not, foul quick.
If you're Nashua South here, you have your best passer inbound, and you give them 2 options. You've got to have 2 options to inbound to, because if you do the one, the Broncos can really take that away and force an errant pass. So you got to have 2 options to inbound, both of whom should be good free throw shooters, because you know what's coming. It sounds easy, it's harder to execute in practice.
And 17 seconds at a high school basketball game is a long time. And I say this because there was 2 minutes on the clock about 35 minutes ago.
Yeah, this game started at 2. Next game scheduled to start at 3:30. That is 10 minutes from now. Let's see, after that last
We get paid overtime, Matt? You know.
I'm getting paid by the word, so I'm just fine. Here we go, 17 seconds left. It'll be Ariana Murray to inbound. It's Ryu and Juliana Martin on the near side. Maya Ryu making a break. She'll get the inbound and fouled hard by Rudrock right in front of her own bench. So it'll be Ryu to the line for 2. She was 2 for 2 the last time.
Yeah.
Up by 3, a chance to bring this one to a 2-possession game once again.
Perhaps the one person you didn't want to have to foul, but South with a nice design of that inbounds play.
Yeah, they almost hit her. She was standing by the by the half-court stripe and then made a break towards the baseline. It'll be Maya Ryu once again. Last time at the stripe, her side up 3. She made 2 to go to 5. Misses the first one here, so it will not be a similar situation.
Almost a knuckleball, you know, no spin on that basketball.
Best she can do is bring the lead to 4. Ryu's second shot.
There it is.
That one's good, nothing but net. 15 seconds left. McKinley to Hodgson.
Go for a 2 here.
She's going to drive, gets around, looks downstairs, throws up a runner, no good. McIntyre with the rebound. She goes down hard and is fouled. That should just about do it with 6.1 seconds left. And McKinley needing to make the very least one of these 2 free throws. It'll force a 3-pointer to be taken by Alvirne if they want to tie.
Well, to go to the distance here in 6 seconds is highly unlikely, so.
If you can make 2 of these, that would be about as close to a dagger as you can get. Force 2 3-pointers. So here's McIntyre. Going to put the final stake in this Nashua South Purple Panther win. First one's good. 5-point lead for South. With Jordan and Maya Ryu running over to Coach John Bourgeois getting some defensive coaching here in the last seconds. Second shot for McIntyre, good. 6-point lead, that should just about do it. Nashua backing off. Bourgeois tells him not to foul. Pushed out of bounds by Martin. About as cautious a pass breakup as you can get. She did not want to foul there.
She was hoping there wasn't anybody close to it that she was going to run into.
1.8 seconds left.
Oh, the sky hook.
3-point sky hook, no good. And the Nashua South Purple Panthers 44-38 winners. It was all South in the first half. They hang on by the skin of their teeth in the second half, and they will be in the championship tomorrow. Jason Roby, what did you make of that effort in the second half, namely the fourth quarter?
Well, they're staying alive, right? Nashua South has got up to a big lead there, and kudos to Alvirne for making the comeback. I mean, that was a product of just heart and desire, and they got back into this thing and made a contest of it. But nice to see the hometown team, Nashua South, and as they host this tournament, make it to the next round with a chance to be the champions of their own tournament. So good job by both teams. A little sloppy there at times, right? But we're still in the early going, Matt, and both of these teams look for big things from a senior-laden Alvirne group and from an up-and-coming South group. Just a good game, a good one to get us started here.
8 minutes up on the clock. We'll get a quick turnaround as Merrimack takes on Nashua North for the chance to take on the Nashua South Purple Panthers for the Chic-fil-A Tournament Championship here on Nashua ETV.